I do apologize. I did have to run an errand today, which was urgent enough that I couldn't put it off. So I apologize for being mysterious, but you guys don't need to know every detail about my life. I wouldn't want to know every detail about my life if I didn't know them. So, I've got a lot of stuff to cover in the response section. A little less in the Sic Semper Mentalis, but we're also going to play the UK's or shout out UK's. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's basically the prevent referral game. We'll call it, and I'll be doing all that before I start the Skyrim streaming. Give me just a moment to power off my phone. Good. Okay, that was easy. Also, I have a funky new phone case, which I expect I'll break inside the first time I try to use it. Yeah, considering the supposed stand on the back is extremely stiff. There we go. That's not so bad. Okay, get that put away. Damn cheap Chinese stuff. I do like the fact that I can cover the phone now, or the camera now, though. So there's that. And I did get a good deal on it, so. And I will point out, yet again, I do attempt to avoid Chinese purchases where I can. Something in me rebels against the idea of purchasing from a country that uses slave labor. So, before we get started with the Sic Semper Mentalis, we have a couple of pieces of bad news. Our friend Scott Adams, creator of Dilbert, has passed away, and of course Washington Post is being a dick and not letting me see the obituary. I'm sure that's already on the archive. There we are. That was easy. So, Scott Adams, Dilbert creator who poked fun at bad bosses, amongst other things, dies at 68. His 3-panel comic strip was once published in more than 2,000 papers. Publishers cut ties with Mr. Adams after he made very realistic comments on a YouTube live stream. And that's Scott at home in Pleasanton, California in 2014. Adams, who became a hero to millions of cubicle-dwelling office workers as the creator of the satirical comic strip Dilbert. I personally started reading Dilbert long before I left high school, if I recall correctly. And thoroughly enjoyed it. And then when I found myself working in a cubicle, one of the very first things I did was put up a couple of Dilbert strips. So he supposedly, this is according to Harrison Smith, rebranded himself as a digital provocateur at home in the Trump era's right-wing media sphere. Really? With inflammatory comments about race, politics, and identity. No, he was just telling the truth, and he died earlier today, at 68. His former wife, Shelley Miles Adams, announced his death in a live stream Tuesday morning. Reading a statement she said Mr. Adams had prepared before his death. "I had an amazing life," the statement said in part. "I gave it everything I had." Okay, I think I would rather read Mr. Adams' words instead of the words of some post-hack. Let's see. Let's see if we can find more of the statement here. If not, we'll move on to the other piece of bad news. Live stream. This isn't good news. Okay. Adams described himself as, quote, "not a believer," before writing that he accepts Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior because the risk-reward calculation for doing so looks so attractive to me. You know, it is what it is. Every day is a nightmare, evening is even worse. I can understand that. Let's see. Supplement. So, Trump remembered Adams as a great influencer. He was a fantastic guy who liked and respected me when it wasn't fashionable to do so. He bravely fought a long battle against terrible disease. Yeah, Scott Adams passed away this morning from prostate cancer. And speaking of people who have passed away in the last little while, Accept only necessary. What are my options here? Accept only. Swiss author Eric von Daniken has passed away at 90 years old. Go away, pop-ups. The Swiss author and publicist Eric von Daniken has died at the age of 90. The writer made a name for himself around the world as a controversial expert on the gods. That's one way to phrase it, and his book sold millions of copies. Another way to phrase it would be, as I said, I hope that flights of Greys speed you to your rest. His death was confirmed in news agency Keystone SDA by his daughter on Sunday. Cornelia von Daniken said that her father had died of old age at a hospital in Interlaken, Canton Bern. The news of the death of the internationally renowned author and journalist can also be found on websites dedicated to him. The author made a name for himself worldwide as a controversial researcher of the gods. Von Daniken was born April 14, 1935, in Zofingen, Canton, Aargau. With the publication of Chariots of the Gods in 1968, he triggered a science fiction boom and conquered bestseller lists. However, he wasn't actually writing science fiction, from what I understand of his viewpoint. His debut was followed by numerous other books, documentaries, and television series. Von Daniken went from being an amateur researcher to an entrepreneur, later founding a foundation. Although he wrote 49 books, which sold 75 million copies and were translated into more than 30 languages, quite the achievement. Altogether, not although. He was a global phenomenon who nevertheless had difficulty establishing himself in his home country. Yeah, so that's goodbye Scott Adams and Eric von Daniken. And the bus to heaven that day must be very interesting. So, as we normally do, this time of day, we will talk about the... It's time for some Sic Semper Mentalist to lift our spirits. So, from Kate on X, we have... We'll pause this here. For the record, folks, don't punch the cops. It ends badly for you. I will give the guy kudos for kicking her in the hip. Because if he'd aimed 6 inches higher, he might have broken ribs. If he'd aimed 6 inches lower, he might have damaged her knee. And kicking her in the hip on the side, obviously the physics of the momentum did what it did. We'll watch it one more time real quick, just to have it clear. I do like that he also steps between her legs to keep her from being able to move. She's probably drunk as well, so, yeah. That's a good takedown. Kate from KT_K1. Love how she immediately realized why hitting an officer has immediate consequences and it doesn't matter which gender you are. Yeah, you all wanted equal rights. Now you're catching the equal lefts, too. Sorry. So from Farm Girl Carrie, we have, and I'll read the captions first, from the Street Protest Files. Yikes. Protesters versus car. Car wins. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Fafo. Dude, you are far too tall to think it's a good idea to stand there. You are far too stupid. Yep. That is, in fact, what happens. And you deserve every moment of it. You weren't run over. Get up. Stop pretending to dive like a soccer player. Now, I'll just point something out really quick. This person was being prevented from moving, from leaving the area. That's wrongful confinement, at least under Canadian law. It can rise as far as kidnapping in some jurisdictions. And I will point out, also, I do apologize, I'm not looking at my chat, so if you guys are chatting, I can't see it. At least I don't think I can. I neglected to do a chatbot check. I'll do that now. Where are we here? Okay, clear that. There we go. And a quick chatbot check. Oh, it is working. Awesome. Okay. So no one was chatting. Now I feel lonely. Okay, I'm fine. Yeah, no, don't play chicken with cars, especially when there are people in them. It's safer when they're empty, unless they're self-driving. Yeah. But yet again, we see the consequences of don't play in traffic, kids. A man of memes. That is a great name. Ricky Doggin, that's even better. Says Fafo. Excuse me. From Donna Marie, we have all lives splatter. No one cares about your protest. Keep your ass out of the road. Excuse me. Democrats say things would be much safer if law enforcement would just stop trying to enforce the law. Know your pedals. School zone. Riots. All lives splatter again. Be careful what you wish for. If you say the ICE agent deserved to get hit because he wouldn't get out of the way, you are giving everyone the green light to drive through your protest when you refuse to get out of the street. Snow in the winter, protesters in the summer. Oh, man. What is that? Oh, my God. I think that's an old Lumina. And, yeah. Also, what the hell do you have on top of that? I can't tell. 1 second. I think it's cosmetic, but I wouldn't test the theory. Also, Marvin Heemeyer would be proud. Yeah. If you willingly block a motor vehicle in an area designated for use by said vehicles, you have legally and willfully turned yourself into a speed bump. And, of course, as we all know, the amount of finding out is commensurate with the amount of fucking around. Yeah, don't break for communists. Yeah. I'm not saying the real world should be like GTA 5. A lot of us still have the 92 LA riots seared into our brains. I saw what happened to Reginald Denny on the national news. I'm not stopping for protesters. And you shouldn't. You should absolutely not. And the protesters should be aware that they have no option to be... Hello, Pearl Davis manhandled by Anna Kasparian? Just a second. What the hell is this? Okay, it's a video from I, Hypocrite. I'll watch that later. Okay, so from Defiant L's...
What's your message to straight white conservative men?
Pause. There we go. Okay, so, Defiant L's. What's your message to straight white conservative men? Listen to minorities. Listen to women. What's a woman? Yeah. This one's tried and true. And it does definitely belong in Sic Semper Mentalis.
What's your message to straight...
I will also point out that for every single piercing you have in your face that interferes with the functions of your face, I will mock you. And I will assume you have 10 points less IQ than you probably do.
Straight white conservative men.
Listen to my...
So this chick is down 1... Well, that one's not really functionally effective, but she's definitely down 20 points minimum. Possibly 30, depending on what's going on with this one.
Minorities, listen to women, listen to people who are trying to educate you. Don't live in ignorance just because it's easy.
What is a woman?
If ever there was a time for the throbber.
What's your message?
Also septum theory. Okay. Before I do... Yeah, we're up to this thing, the Pathways game. Let me expand the window a little bit, because you're not seeing the entire page. Also, I will point out that S-O-U-K is how you spell a market in certain Arab countries. An open-air market. So there's that, yeah. Okay, so we're going to see if we can find ourselves an Amelia. Let's see here. Okay. Can I shrink that just a little bit? Yeah, okay, there we go. So, Pathways, Navigating Gaming, the Internet, and Extremism. A free, youth-centered, interactive learning package for education on extremism, radicalization, and prevent. We're aiming for an Amelia, if we can get there. And I will point out, I'm going to run this twice. I'm going to run it once, because I want to run it once the way the regime would like you to respond, or as close as I can manage. And then I'm going to answer honestly. And that's honestly from me. So, interactive course V8. Oh, yeah, okay. This doesn't look horrendous. Welcome to Pathways, an interactive game where you determine your journey. In this game, you will have to choose between certain options that can lead to different outcomes. Let's see where your path takes you. Yes, let's. Instructions. Number 1. In this game, you will be presented...
require you to take action. Like hearing something...
Okay, yeah, we don't need the sound. I'm going to read it all to you guys anyway. In this game, you will be presented with scenarios that require you to take action, like hearing something hurtful while gaming or watching a provocative video or on social media. Okay. From the 3 alternative options presented, you will use your mouse to select one based on the information given and what outcome you think this will have. Sorry. I'm a poor streamer. I see the word outcome and I think income. Speaking of, the Ko-Fi link is passing by right now. Part 3. The choices you make will determine the route your character takes. Remember to be aware of getting trapped in risky or harmful situations, as the different choices can lead to situations involving extremism and radicalization, damaging the outcome for your character. Which character will guide you through this experience? Given my choice, I would inject my own character. In this case, we will play as the guy. Both times, we will actually... No, we'll play as the girl this time because this is going to be the pro-regime playthrough. So, let's see how this goes. So. Oh. Come on. Really? Okay. Charlie was enjoying an online game with friends. Apparently he's a fan of Hull. To the point that he has a... Yeah, that's good job on Hull City Council for promoting themselves very thoroughly in this game. So, next. Charlie had not long started attending a new college in East Riding, and they were so relieved to have made new friends having recently left school. They. Why did you give us the option of picking between 2 different characters if they both have the same pronoun, which I'm certain is going to be they for both of them? Was so relieved to have made new friends having recently left school. Okay. Charlie started browsing new games and websites that some of her new friends use. Yeah, sorry. Sometimes, though, the people on these websites say things that seem off, even slightly concerning. Next. Someone on this website has encouraged Charlie to download a video, but Charlie is unsure. Okay. How should Charlie react? Tell a trusted adult, talk to the stranger online to find out more about the video, download the video. Okay, this doesn't have anything to do with extremism at all. This is simply protecting yourself. Do not download something just because a stranger on the internet suggests you should. Always, at the very least, investigate. Also, I will point out, the word college has been used, and I'm going to assume in the UK, college can mean, up to secondary school. That means that this person would technically be a minor. In Canada, however, we wouldn't tell a trusted adult, because if you're already in college, you're already pretty much old enough to drink. And, well, we don't talk to adults after that. Except for the ones we're drinking with. Okay, personally, yeah, we'll leave the personal one alone. At this point, I think Charlie should tell a trusted adult. Moving along. Charlie went and spoke to her mom about some of the concerning content online. I had to be very careful about saying mum, because I always want to follow it with died in the holly. Charlie's mom listened to her concern and tried her best. Now, why is Charlie's mom a her, but Charlie isn't a her? Tried her best to answer Charlie's questions about what she had heard. Okay. Charlie learned that some people hold extreme beliefs and express them in hurtful ways, sometimes encouraging others to do the same and get involved. Charlie was relieved they did not download the unknown video, as they did not know what the consequences of doing so could be. I'll also point out at this point, Charlie is very clearly a white girl. The UAE is not concerned about the radicalization happening to white people in the UK, and that's not why they've stopped sending their students. Moving along. Charlie was relieved they did not download the unknown video, as they did not know the consequences of what the consequences could be. In some cases, downloading or streaming certain content can lead to a terrorist offense conviction. I would immediately be jailed in the UK because I will watch pretty much anything if I'm prepping for a show. Yeah. So that was the first chapter. Now we move on to chapter 2. Charlie is receiving an important grade on a piece of work she submitted for her hospitality course at college. And again, I'm starting to think this is actually meant to be someone who's post-secondary. Which really makes me question why they're treating them like a child. The whole trusted adult thing. Anyway, moving along. Charlie put in a lot of effort for this work and is excited to receive good feedback. Good for her. Charlie takes a seat in class and waits to get her grade. To her disappointment, Charlie doesn't do as well as she expected. She got 60 out of 100 for her work, but she wanted at least 75 out of 100. To make matters worse, somebody else got 80, and the teacher said that this person has received a job offer. Charlie has applied to dozens of jobs, but hasn't had any luck yet. We'll wait till the second round before I comment on that. Somebody else in the class, I think I recognize that hair. Yes, I do. In the class tells Charlie that this is proof the immigrants are coming to the UK and taking our jobs. Taking our gerbs. How should Charlie react? Ignore the comment and ask the course leader for feedback about how you can improve, which, is what a sensible person would do, because they wouldn't simply assume... Sorry, I'm messing with something under the table. Ignore the comment, don't address your frustration. Agree with the comment and explore the idea further. So, of course, this is the regime-appropriate version that I'm doing. Ignore the comment and ask the course leader for feedback about how you can improve. Ignore the comment, don't address your frustration. Okay, so we'll go there. Bottling up your frustration is a great way to fail at any number of things, by the way. Okay, Charlie was still upset by the end of the lesson, which is fair. She couldn't get past the thought that her classmate had received a job offer, but she hadn't. Charlie spoke with her teacher after the lesson, and she learned that her grade had not been high and how to improve. The teacher listened to her frustrations about not having any job offers yet and booked in a time to help with some new job applications. Okay. Moving on to the third section. Charlie has been chilling out all afternoon. Charlie should get her fucking ass out of bed and move around a bit. Chilling out doesn't require just laying around. They have been scrolling on social media. She spent the day doom scrolling. I wonder if she's not out of bed yet. She's depressed, like 95% of women on... Never mind. She spotted a video that seems to be getting a lot of attention. Charlie watched the video and learned from the video that Muslim men are stealing the places of British war veterans in emergency accommodation. In the video, they explain that the government is betraying white British people and we need to take back control of our country. How should Charlie react? Scroll past the content, ignoring the message, find out more about the topic online, engage directly with the post. This seems unfair. I would expect the regime would want you to... I'm surprised there's no option to report the video. But I'm going to guess the regime would want you to scroll past the content and ignore the message. Charlie wasn't sure whether they should engage with the video. She carried on scrolling. And to her surprise, the next video showed a veteran and a dog moving into their new home that had been provided as a community initiative. Sure it did. She was also relieved that she didn't share the first video, as she learned that the information was not accurate. Oh no, not the dreaded misinformation. Do you know how the Babylon Bee got so fucking popular? Okay, moving on to number 4. Charlie has been enjoying a family dinner at home. Family, huh? Girl. Family. When she receives a notification from her friend. Charlie's mum makes a comment about using phones at the dinner table, but Charlie checks in anyway. Mothers aren't very good at laying down rules. Thanks for the impression there. Shout out UK. Amelia, Charlie's close friend, has made a video encouraging young people in Bridlington to join a political group that seeks to defend English rights. Okay. Amelia encourages Charlie to join a secret group on an app Charlie hasn't heard of before. Charlie isn't sure whether to join, explore further, or ignore. How should Charlie react? Ignore the video, risking upsetting your friend. Like the video to show you support your friend but don't join the secret group. Share the video and join the secret group as your friend requested. Regime appropriate would be to ignore video, upset friend. I am certain. Charlie didn't feel comfortable joining a secret group or encouraging people to join a political group. They felt it was down to the individual to decide for themselves. And what? You're not allowed to encourage your friends to do things that you perceive would be good for them? Okay. They carried on with family dinner and went to bed early, knowing college was coming up the next day. She carried on. Charlie was looking forward to talking about the video her friend made, but seeing her friend that morning didn't go as planned. When morning came, Charlie was ignored by her friend for ignoring her post the day before and not having strong enough beliefs to associate with them anymore. Interesting. Should have been an extremist, I guess. Okay, part 5. Charlie was seeing her dad at the weekend. Which one's her dad? Tell me Amelia's not Charlie's dad. That's weird. He lives... Oh, there's her dad. He lives in Hull, so her weekends look very different to her weekdays in East Riding. Excuse me. Charlie's friend Amelia immediately looked interested and told her about a protest she wished she could go to herself but was not allowed. Amelia spoke of a gathering that had been organized by a small political group. They would come together and protest the changes that Britain has been through in the last few years and the erosion of British values. I will point out, putting a line through your own flag, that's a bad sign. You're not to mention the fact that you're actually portraying the extremist views wrong. But hey, it's fine. Maybe she's Muslim. Amelia talked about the banners and the pickets that her friends had made for the events and expressed a real regret that she could not go, begging Charlie to go in her place. Charlie has nothing to do this weekend, and a protest sounded like an interesting thing to take part in. Yeah, because... I don't know. This I can't relate to. When I was that age, protesting was not something I was into. How should Charlie react? Decline the offer, risking friendship. Tell your friend you will watch from the sidelines, let them know what happens. Agree to join in based on what you've been hearing. Regime correct is to ruin friendships. Good to know. Charlie didn't feel comfortable. You notice how I'm still way, way in the green? Yeah. Charlie didn't feel comfortable with going to the protest. It sounded risky, and she was meant to be there to see her dad. Charlie was really upset when Amelia told them they couldn't be friends anymore. They didn't share the same values. That's funny because the only extremists who do that, they're not on our side of the debate, are they? Where you either accept the struggle session or get thrown out of the club. Lockstep is for liberals. Anyway, Charlie began walking home, thinking about whether she had made the right decision. Charlie's phone started ringing. She didn't really feel like talking. Well, you never know. Maybe Amelia's calling to apologize. It was her dad, and they were enthusiastically talking about the plans for the weekend. That would be he was, not they were. Why is it only the women that get she, her pronouns in this fucking game? Moving along. Suddenly, Charlie was reassured about her decision. Of course she was. Okay, and moving on. Let's see what kind of award. Charlie thought about all the difficult choices she had needed to make in the last few weeks. Some of her choices had led to changes in friendship. Who's this person? Why are they so happy? Simple, because they're being left the fuck alone by everybody. And Charlie was feeling low as she wasn't sure if she had made the right decisions. Teacher had noticed this, decided to reach out. Yeah, I'm sure. Careful. Probably lesbian. Teacher sat with her and talked openly and frankly about the ideology that Charlie had discovered. Teacher reassured Charlie that she wouldn't be in trouble and she would receive support for some of the difficult thoughts she had been having. We're going to give you therapy because you might have done something. So you don't even have to actually be an extremist. They just want to send everybody to conditioning. I mean, programming. I mean, re-education. I mean, concentrate. No, wait. Yeah. What if Charlie had made more harmful choices? Click to find out what support Charlie could have received if they had chosen to engage with harmful ideologies. We won't actually be doing that. Actually, we will. Let's just check. Charlie accepted she may need support. Charlie's teacher made a prevent referral, and they were able to provide tailored support for Charlie. So no matter what, you're getting referred to prevent, even if you didn't engage. They began a workshop that helped them learn how to engage positively with ideology and the difference between right and wrong in expressing political beliefs. Charlie received counseling to help her process the other events in her life, and she felt much better for it. Right. Congratulations on completing all the scenarios. Let's explore the consequences of your character's choices and see what lies ahead. No. What we're going to do is we're going to go back and we're going to start over, and we're going to do this fucking honestly like a sensible human being. We'll skip as much as we can, of course. It does look like if we turn off the sound, it moves faster. Okay, so Charlie was enjoying an online game with friends. Good for Charlie. I notice he's not playing fucking Call of Duty. Charlie had not long started attending a new college in East Riding, and he was so relieved to have made new friends having recently left school. Okay, right there. I didn't catch this the first couple of times through. I have played the first stage last night just to see what it was about, see if it would run properly on my system. Charlie had not long started attending a new college in East Riding, and they were so relieved to have made new friends having recently left school. So this is supposed to be a grown man. That's the point. That's one of the separations between childhood and manhood, or adulthood, is you leave basic schooling and go to college. Charlie started browsing new games and websites that some of the new friends use, like Telegram. Sometimes, though, the people on these websites say things that seem off. Oh, must have gone on to Blue Sky. Even slightly concerning. Someone on this website has encouraged Charlie to download a video, but Charlie is unsure. How should Charlie react? Tell a trusted adult. Download the video. Talk to the stranger online to find out more about the video. That's what I would do. Because, I'm sorry, I'm an inquisitive fuck. I'm already an adult, especially when I was in college, and I'm not just going to download something just because someone tells me to. Charlie questioned the stranger, asking what the video was about. Charlie felt uneasy when the stranger explained that if Charlie cared about the country, he would download the video and share it with as many people as possible. Notice I'm already into the yellow simply because I'm engaging with a discussion. They don't want you to talk to these people. Period. Okay. Charlie wasn't sure what to say and didn't contribute anything more to the discussion, instead feeling that perhaps he had missed something on the topic. Maybe Charlie should ask more fucking questions. Luckily, Charlie trusted his instincts and didn't download or share the video. Yeah, it could have been any number of things. It's important to remember that downloading or streaming certain content can lead to a terrorist offense conviction. It's also important to remember that downloading something you don't know what is could get you a virus, get your identity stolen, get any number of fucking negative consequences, aside from being referred to some asshat group like Prevent. Yeah. Moving along. Number 2. Charlie's receiving an important grade on a piece of work that he submitted for his hospitality course at college. Why are you in a hospitality course, Charlie? You should be doing a trade. Anyway, he put in a lot of effort and is excited to receive good feedback. Charlie takes a seat in class and waits to get his grade. He sat next to Amelia. We do like this one. Okay, to their disappointment, Charlie doesn't do as well as he expects. He got 60, but wanted 75. To make it worse, someone else got 80, and the teacher said that person had received a job offer. It's very curious. He's only just started college, and the freshmen are getting job offers? Charlie has applied to dozens of jobs, but hasn't had any luck yet. I can sympathize with Charlie. Somebody else in the class tells Charlie that this is proof that immigrants are coming to the UK and taking our jobs. How should Charlie react? Ignore the comment, ask the course leader for feedback about improvements. I mean, asking how you can improve is a good thing to do. Tying it together with ignoring the comment, not so much. Ignore the comment, don't address your frustration. So that's just closing up. That's clamping down on yourself. Don't ever do that. And your only other option is to agree with the comment and explore the idea further. Now, I wouldn't necessarily agree with the comment, just randomly, it's proof that they're taking our gerbs. No, I'm sorry, I wouldn't necessarily immediately agree with that. My response would be, what makes you say that besides just this one situation? But I would want to explore the idea further. Charlie approached the classmate angrily. He agreed with the ideas and began shouting about them in class. Really? I thought he was going to explore the idea further. It doesn't look like he's exploring the idea at all. That looks like Charlie is just ready to fucking snap. Charlie's not a good man at all. The teacher let Charlie know that the school has a zero tolerance on hate speech. At which point Charlie went, "Fuck you too." Teacher was concerned by Charlie's outburst and tried to get to the bottom of it. Charlie became more agitated, ended up having to sit alone for the duration of the week's lessons because of the hurtful things he said. This is college? Is this standard practice at, like, Cambridge? Or Oxford? Seriously? Make them sit by themselves for the lessons? Do you have any idea how much money they're paying to have these fucking lessons? Are you retarded? Okay, let's go to number 3. Charlie's been chilling out all afternoon. Charlie needs to get the fuck out of bed, too. Let's be real. Charlie should be out walking around, getting some sunlight, touching some grass, or some house, and yeah. Anything but fucking doom scrolling. He spotted a video that seems to be getting a lot of attention. Charlie watched the video, learns from the video Muslim men are stealing the places of British war veterans in emergency accommodation. That's fucking bullshit. And we do know that happens. In the video, they explain that the government is betraying white British people and we need to take back control of our country. I will stop you right there and point out the redundancy. You don't need to say white and British. How should Charlie react? Scroll past, find out more about the topic, engage directly with the post. This seems unfair. My knee-jerk reaction would be to engage with the post, but my knee-jerk reaction would be to engage with the post to ask questions. So let's find out more about the topic online. Charlie wasn't sure if this video was true. Notice how I'm still in the yellow here. But the recent other encounters made them curious. Charlie went directly to the account's website, found research papers, statistics, information about protests, and more regarding the replacement. It's a conspiracy theory until it's fucking finished. Of white people. He continued browsing and encountered lots of harmful groups who agree with these sentiments. Yes, like, whatever group Tommy Robinson's part of. Charlie began intaking a lot of harmful ideological messages. In fact, some of the groups were actually illegal. Well, see, that makes Charlie a fucking moron. Also, the fuck is this? You're not allowed to have guns in the UK. Why do you even have this on there? Moving to number 4. Charlie's enjoying a family dinner at home. That's interesting because he's the only man in the family, apparently. When he receives a notification from his friend. Charlie's mum, who died in the holly, makes a comment about using phones at the dinner table, but Charlie checks in anyway. I'm sorry, I just can't help myself. Every time I hear the word mum now, it's just a mnemonic, and I can't help it. I'm Pavlovian that way. Amelia, Charlie's close friend, good for Charlie, has made a video encouraging young people in Bridlington to join a political group that seeks to defend English rights. Nothing wrong with that. You should absolutely defend the rights of your people. Amelia encourages Charlie to join a secret group on an app Charlie hasn't heard of before. Charlie isn't sure whether to join, explore further, or ignore. Now, when I was first invited to join Telegram, I did exactly this. Well, actually, that option isn't there. The option would be, of course, to investigate the group, or investigate the app. Excuse me. But since we don't have that option, we will share the video and join the secret group as your friend requested, because I do shit for my friends. It's mighty white of me. Charlie thought the video their friend posted was so funny they couldn't believe how many likes Amelia's memes were getting. It was inspiring. It's almost like a certain pug video. Charlie joined the secret group on this new platform. Their phone wouldn't stop buzzing with messages of support and invitations to participate in several similar groups. Isn't that interesting? Also, I will point out, Charlie, if there's no phones at the table, put the fucking thing down till you're done eating. Charlie's mum was not so pleased and grew suspicious of all this new activity her child... suddenly mum is a there. Isn't that interesting? Her child seemed to be involved with. And to the next one. Let's see if we can't get... Oh, look at that. Charlie was seeing his dad at the weekend. His dad lives in Hull, so their weekends look very different to his weekdays in East Riding. See, this is the problem with using their pronouns for singular people. It can be extremely confusing because here the there could be referring to both him and his dad's weekends. And here the there is obviously talking about Charlie in the singular, which means it should be his. Charlie's friend Amelia immediately looked interested and told him about a protest she wished she could go to herself but was not allowed. Why aren't you allowed? That would be my very first question. Why can't you go? Why are you being told you're not permitted to go? Aren't you an adult who's in college in my fucking class? Amelia spoke of a gathering that had been organized by a small political group. Well, we covered this. The erosion of British values. She talked about banners and pickets her friends had made, expressed a real regret she couldn't go, begged Charlie to go instead. Charlie has nothing to do this weekend, and a protest sounded like an interesting thing to take part in. I thought you were supposed to go see your dad, dude. Thou shalt honor thy father and mother. How should Charlie react? Decline the offer, risk your friendship? Yeah, that's not how friendship works. Tell your friend you'll watch from the sidelines, let them know what happens. Agree to join in based on what you've been hearing. Now, at this point, you've seen Charlie has heard things and seen things that are potentially illegal. If Charlie was a sensible individual, this would be his option. I'm going to go and watch, but I don't think I'm going to get involved. Charlie went to the protest. In the end, it wasn't what he expected. Okay. They noticed the protests seemed to be more about racism and anti-immigration than British values and honoring fallen veterans. Sure it was. Again, what's with the gun? Is this just meant to imply that anyone who speaks up for British rights is thereby criminal? It's a matter of time. Charlie grew increasingly uncomfortable as the crowd became angrier. Police arrived after a few violent outbreaks. Charlie should fucking leave. Before they knew it, they were running away from the scene. Some protesters next to Charlie had drawn the attention of the police. Charlie doesn't have anything to be afraid of if he didn't do anything illegal. Charlie had only been here to observe, but the line between observing and participating was too easy to cross. So, again, shout out UK is implying that adults, grown people, have no agency of their own. And the last one. Charlie thought about all the difficult choices he had needed to make in the last few weeks. Some of his choices had led to changes in friendship, and Charlie was feeling low, as they weren't sure if they had made the right decisions. I'll also point out, Amelia seems to have disappeared. What happened to Amelia? She was in class with Charlie last time we were in class. So was Amelia a fed plant? Teacher had noticed this, decided to reach out. Teacher sat with him, talked openly and frankly about the ideology Charlie had discovered. Teacher reassured him he had reassured that Charlie had made the right decisions. Charlie realized that if they had chosen to engage with these harmful ideas, the consequences would have been very different. I'm not going to have a lot of time to play Skyrim today. Actually, probably none. I might even run over with the responses. The consequences would have been very different. Also, I don't normally go this long in this section. What if Charlie had made more harmful choices? Let's find out. Charlie accepted he may need support. There was a prevent referral. Began a workshop. Got counseling. Okay, let's speed run this in the worst possible way and see what happens then. Okay, yeah, we can skip all this. Let me hit mute. Next. Oh wow, look at all this waiting for the network bullshit. Everybody wants their own Amelia, I guess. We'll go to we'll go with the boy this time again. Okay, Charlie's enjoying online gaming. Okay, tell a trusted adult, talk to the stranger. No, just download the video, man. What's the worst that could happen? Charlie wanted to continue being part of their new online community. His new online community. Charlie downloaded the video, shared it with different people. Nobody told you to share it. They just told you to download it. Or maybe they did. Charlie felt relieved and happy people were liking the video and also sharing it. Because Charlie might very well make some money out of that. Depending on what platform he's on. Deep down, Charlie wasn't sure if this was the right thing to do. Bull fucking shit. Some of the ideas in the video were extreme and violent. That's open to interpretation. Same as a pug lifting its paw. It's important to remember that downloading or streaming certain content can lead to a terrorist offense conviction. So it doesn't matter what you do online, even just watching something can get you fucked over. Yeah. Okay, Charlie's waiting for the grade. Agree. Let's just lose it and claim they're all stealing our gerbs. Charlie's chilling out again. Get your hand out from under the blanket, Charlie. Don't think we didn't notice. Engage with the post. Charlie couldn't believe what they were seeing. Charlie began immediately typing comments and sharing the video with their friends and family, wondering what he could do to stop this. As the likes, comments, and shares came in, he felt he had performed a patriotic service standing up for veterans and white people's rights. Good man, Charlie. Unfortunately, Charlie didn't realize that some of the groups he was engaging with online were actually illegal. Well, that's not Charlie's problem. Charlie should have paid better attention. And again, we notice that Charlie has no male role model. Hence the reason he'll just pick up the phone when mom says no. How should Charlie react? Charlie should share the video, join the secret group. because that's what you do for your friends. Thought the video was funny, blah blah, we did this. And into 5, Charlie was seeing his dad. Okay, so this is the protest. Charlie's going to join in this time. Let's see if Charlie gets referred to prevent or just straight up arrested. He went home and made a banner to take with him. Why cross swords, dude? Notice how no matter what, the protesters are being portrayed as violent. Yeah. Also, cross swords is actually a very strong English symbol. I approve. Charlie arrived at the protest, was swept up by the atmosphere. It was great to see so many people. Everything was going well until Charlie almost became involved in a fight by accident. Nobody gets in a fight by accident. You get dragged into a fight, or you choose not to engage in the fight. Police saw they were part of a group and took their details. Yeah, you stand next to a fight, one of two things will happen. Either you will get dragged into it because one of your friends is there, and that's what friends do for each other, is help defend each other. Or you will get attacked and have to choose between defending yourself or avoiding the situation, which is, run, hide. Yeah. Charlie was frightened by this, not knowing if his parents would be informed. I thought Charlie was an adult. Charlie thought about his choices. Let me guess, he still gets... Now, see, the teacher still thinks Charlie made the right decisions. So the teacher's a fucking fed plant, too. If he had made more harmful choices... You don't have an option here, so why that is in the green is beyond me. Okay. Yeah, that's just a load of hooey, that whole thing. Let me get my Avast window back up. There we go. Oh, I see I've got some chats. Just a second here. Didger is in. Hi there. Rumble tanked my comments. That figures. A great way to convince someone to stop thinking for himself is to convince them they're a child who needs outside guidance all the time, I guess. Doesn't that look like what this is really doing, is basically telling you to be programmed by the government? Charlie investigated information presented to him and concluded British rights were worth protecting. He was put to death by his government. The end. Yeah, probably. Sent for re-education of some sort. Okay. I've got a bunch of response stuff as well, so let me just get to this here today. I don't think there's going to be a lot of Skyrim today, folks. I don't have anything else pressing, but we'll see anyway. We have, pause, from Kirk Lubimov, who is someone I do follow. I advise some of the companies you know and startups you will. Blah, whatever. Crypto bro. Donald Trump, we are not going to have China or Russia as a neighbor. Meanwhile, in Canada, China has ownership in strategic companies, interferes in our elections, runs secret police stations, takes over land, and Mark Carney is going on a trip to strengthen relationships with the CCP. And their president feels perfectly at home dressing down our head of state. Yeah. Well, let's see what Trump has to say here.
And we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor.
Okay, so that was all that was. Dude, you already have what might as well be China West. Or East, depending on... Well, we're closer East. So, yeah, you might as well have China on your fucking doorstep right now. Where do you think all the... Remember a couple of days ago I talked about how these precursor chemicals for fentanyl, for about 13 billion doses worth, or 3 billion doses, I can't remember exactly. But it was billions of doses, not millions, but billions. How they were caught on the way into Canada. You think that's all that's being caught? Or all that's being transported, rather? Theo Fleury. China's already on your border, Donald. He's not wrong. Charlie Hawk, Alberta. I think Carney is going to get a wake-up call, and I'm here for it. It will be everyone else's fault. Absolutely. CCP will get a welcome after the Qataris. James Woods, has there ever been an action by President Trump that wasn't blocked, subverted, or ignored by Democrats? The oil in Venezuela would have been under the control of China in our hemisphere. Trump checkmated them. So, of course, Democrats are losing their mind. They hate America. Yeah, there are two ways to look at geopolitics. There's the very low IQ, low res, my team, my way option. There's also the, this is really complicated. how many different factors do I need to consider to make a decision about how I feel about this version? Yeah. You're always better off with the second one, by the way. Mark Carney says Canada will never be the 51st state or China's 24th province. Yeah. China is apparently a country of 33 provinces and 3 Canadian territories. Chinese ownership in companies and etc. also exists in the U.S. Police stations likely not. No. Brookfield and QAI formed $20 billion. Brookfield, where have I heard that before? Oh, Mark Carney is on the board. Yeah. Carney next, it would be nice. Ain't gonna happen, though. Trump needs to learn geography. And you, Billy Blue, need to learn... I don't know. I don't think there's anything I could teach you. Anyway, moving on. Let's talk about how Canada is such a safe firearm-free place. No, really. This is Caledon, Ontario. Hang on, let me check. Caledon, Ontario, but we're not the Wild West, of course. From Ryan Garrettson. Yeah. Yep. You know, this guy had the chance to do the funniest fucking thing. Starts shooting directly over his buddy's head, and buddy moves out of the way and then back in the way. You damn fool. But, oops. No, I was actually going for that. There we go. But of course, these people aren't all that smart. Cancel Trudeau. Guys, it's too late. Okay? Trudeau's gone. He's no longer relevant. Let him go and shag that Hollywood skank and try and get into the movies. Leave him be. Let's see. You idiot, you can't threaten me with that. Guns are banned. Yeah. Dude shooting over the head of the other guy. Jesus, surprised he didn't kill the other shooter. Canada's crazy. Camera angles being what they are. The guy was probably mostly out of the line of fire, or the potential line of fire. However, if the guy behind him had had a switch, things might have gone very different. Mark Carney has stock options in Brookfield we're not allowed to know about, but he's totally legit, yo. Yeah, thanks, Ditcher. Yeah. Did I miss anything else? No. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Seinfeld's European Carry-All. I thought handguns were banned. Yeah, right? Let's just pick a random comment here. Here we go. From Jen E. I love how they're standing one in front of the other. Yeah. Well, you know, they were clearly not Canadian trained shooters. Or trained at all, probably. From J Gen Xer, an absolute disgrace. Trudeau's Liberals blew a jaw-dropping $62.8 billion on Indigenous programs in 2023 to 24 alone, roughly $35,000 per Indigenous person. And that's leaving aside the Truth and Reconciliation payments. Yet boil water advisories drag on, communities crumble, and living standards barely budge. Where the hell is all that money actually going? Straight into the pockets of corrupt bureaucrats, overpaid liberal-connected consultants, and endless layers of wasteful bureaucracy. This isn't reconciliation, it's a blatant, infuriating ripoff of taxpayers and the Indigenous who desperately need help. Enough is enough. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. You should go follow J Gen Xer. He does some pretty good work. What else have we got here? Oh, yeah. The attack on Christianity continues. In the UK, Labour is accused of quietly targeting churches and British heritage. Labour is facing fury after reports reveal record numbers of church closures and historic buildings being placed at risk under so-called task force planning. This is not neglect, it is deliberate cultural vandalism. Historic churches have been earmarked for closure or repurposing, centuries-old buildings treated as disposable, communities bypassed and ignored, British Christian heritage being pushed aside. While Labour lectures the country about diversity and inclusion, they are systematically erasing the foundations of British history, faith, and identity. Churches that survived wars and generations are now sacrificed to ideological rot and bureaucratic indifference. They are not preserving Britain, they are dismantling it. That is a beautiful church. Yeah. Ivan the Huggable. The UK is ruled by evil anti-white oligarchs that pursue total white erasure at any cost. Diversity and inclusion are their euphemisms for white erasure. Yes. Let's see. From nowhiteguilt.org. It's really been puzzling me. You say that diversity is a strength, but you never recommend it to non-white countries, because diversity literally just means white erasure. It's true. Every Western country is anti-white. Anti-whites don't deserve access to white people or what we build. That's janitor of white noir. Let's just pick something that looked mildly interesting. Reform. And God says, who the fuck are these pricks? Yeah. What's this one? Yeah, okay. Fine. I don't really want to, but we'll cover this one because it's in the list. From Jack Dan 110. Are you insane? Mass immigration, free speech laws, police visiting your home for a post or a like on social media, mass inflation, low productivity, stagnant wages. As much as our Canadian Prime Minister would love this idea and is working towards it, that's a hard pass from me. Someone called Estrella, who claims to have intelligence. Let's invite our beloved Canadian friends to the EU. Do you agree? Fuck no. We would be far better off partnering with Russia. Far better off. If we could manage to forge an alliance between these three countries, the US, Canada, and Russia, we would be far better off. Far, far better off. But it is what it is. Canadian here, fuck your EU commie shit. Yep, good girl. That's, oh, well, obviously not Mike the Trucker. At least one hopes. That's really cute. You know, I'm fine with this too. I'd be absolutely acceptable with this too. Mara Igloo. Okay, that's new, and I like it. How to fold an EU flag. Yes, you fold it from the bottom up, and then bottom up again in half, and then you start making triangles from the side. When you get it all the way down to a single triangle, you dump it in the garbage can. Oh, we're skipping that one because I've covered that story. Who remembers when they were a kid and we needed signs like this to tell us not to shit on the fucking beach? Yeah. If you are found defecating in this area, you may receive a community protection notice. Maximum fine on breach of notice, £2,500. So that's from the EU. Or, sorry, that's from Britain. CCTV in operation in this area. Yeah. And this is from Nick Buckley, MBE. We never had public signs like this when I was a kid. We were taught not to shit in the park. It's a normal trait for British kids. British kids don't want to shit in the park. If we were, and when I was a kid, if we were shitting in the park, it was because we had to, not because we wanted to. Yeah. Cthulhu Loves You said, I never had to be taught not to shit in the park. It's just moral human instinct not to destroy where you live if you are brought up in civility. No. Western kind is the only people that can create Western civilization. Let's cover this one. Skim through this fairly quickly. Make sure I didn't miss any chats here. No. Okay. So, yeah. Meanwhile, at Edmonton City Hall, and this is from Bruce Barrett, we see more Canadians that are fed up. And I'll open this in a new tab so you guys can see it when I blow it up. So this is Edmonton City Hall. And the signs read, right or left to right, stop white genocide, support white people, zero white guilt, protect white women. Make white babies. Yeah. Yep. But of course these guys are feds, right? These four guys are absolutely feds. These guys apparently got around a fair bit too. They were on a bridge at one point and passing traffic as well. So good for them. Patriots and loyalists all. And yeah, Canadians are getting fed up. Our countries are being white erased, says Diplomat for Western Kind. Zenvada, I would have joined too. Strength in numbers, good job, guys. Yeah, here's a few more pics of them. Yeah, this is when they were close to the bridge. Same signs. I think I would have put a couple of different slogans on each sign, one on either side, but that's me. White erasure is the instigating attempt to and or act of eliminating white history, culture, values, religions, monuments, people, etc. The only solution to mass immigration is mass remigration. Of course, this is from the Dominion Society. Excuse me. And, of course, as always, full disclosure, I am a member. Yep, remigration. We're not happy about this either. Please get on board. Beware of the immigrants. Don't know about that one. And of course you named yourself Karen. Protect white women. While every single white male boss I've ever had did his level best to make the workplace as miserable as possible for women. Maybe Jordan Peterson might be right. Maybe, it's not good. I'm not sure you understand this correctly. The white woman needs to be smartened the fuck up and learn her fucking place again in this world. She has forgotten about her white male counterpart. Yeah. And of course the response is, oh, that's why there's 4 people in this movement. You have no idea how many people actually feel this way. And do you have any idea how cold it was in Edmonton? Yeah, of course you don't, because you're an idiot. Anyway. And getting there. What's this? We'd be less... Okay. This will be cute. Let's see. From David McLaughlin, who is not followed by me because he's a former senior public servant and political staffer, clerk, cabinet secretary, I'm not sure what DM means, deputy minister, chief of staff, president, and CEO. Yeah. Could you imagine how much better Canada would be if we had kept the $23.5 billion that we gave Ukraine? It's actually probably closer to 30. But his response, we'd be less secure as a country, less reliable as an ally, and less honorable as a people. Bull fucking shit. Shut the fuck up, Dave. We'd be less secure as a country. We're just as secure as we were. Do you think Russia's going to cross the fucking pole to come and invade Canada? Get fucked. Less reliable as an ally. We're not allies with Ukraine. We have no treaty standing with Ukraine. And less honorable as a people. There's not a lot of honor left in the government that hates white people, to the point that they will impoverish them for the well-being of someone else. One last thing about Renee Gold. Did you? Kind of like those flag-waving Nazis who showed up at the Freedom Convoy protest that never got arrested. Yeah, and the guy who showed up in a mask and got driven away. I will point out the Nazi flag thing has some interesting notes to it. But the guy who showed up in a flag with... I don't think it was a Nazi flag. I think it was something else that was also considered racist or controversial at the time. We'll pause to stop the jibber-jabber. Okay, the Nazi flag guy who was at the protest was actually there waving the flag to indicate, and this is from his own words, I did see the interview, it's been some time, and I couldn't hope to find the link now. But he did say in his own words, he's waving the Nazi flag because he's trying to tell the government they're being Nazis. Okay, fine. Poor choice. The other guy, who managed to get pictures taken from a place where nobody was supposed to be allowed to access, was wearing a mask and carrying... It may very well have been another swastika, I'm not sure. It's been, 4 or 5 years now? 4 years. I do remember because I have a please show me your Honkler thread on X here. But, as I was saying, that guy was wearing a mask in a crowd full of... Confederate flag, thank you, that's right. He was prepping in the presence of Trudeau's personal photographer. Yeah, weird fucking thing, isn't it? Yeah, but that guy was immediately driven away by the protesters because they looked at him and went, yeah, you're a plant, or an agitator, or an agent provocateur. Either way, we don't need your kind here. Get the fuck out. This is white boy country. This is trucker country. And then they put a shoestring around his neck and told him, asked him if he was that Empire. No, but yeah, you see where I'm coming from. Okay, this one I'll blow out to full size. I meme, therefore I am. I am meme 0. Breaking. TikTok leftist justice warriors have started a trend reminding white liberal women that they're worthless, even if they die for their shared causes. You can't make this up. So this is, of course, the last time I want to deal with this Renee Gold situation. Hopefully nothing really big comes up later. Yeah.
I've seen so many creators touch on this, and I feel like I need to add my 2 cents because...
She feels gaslit by people using the phrase, say her name about Renee Gold. Because that's also what they said about Mike Brown. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, say her name is for black people.
Listen for the click, lady. Did you hear it? No? Hang on, I'll try again. There you go. You probably got it that time.
That was because y'all were not doing the things that
Don't
y'all
worry,
were
guys.
supposed
Everything's
to do
going to be all
to
white.
cover these stories.
That's mighty white of you to try and raise our spirits that way, Didger. Thank you.
injustice was being served. So we were saying, say her name so you know exactly who it was. This was a person.
Oh,
who's
Breonna
human.
Taylor, right?
Now,
yeah,
this does not apply to my to this
honorable
situation in
humanity.
Minnesota.
Fuck off. I'm just so tired of this. So we'll do another story about the Dominion Society real quick. These guys, I'm not convinced completely that they're really on their game. I do like the hoodies though. I might order one.
Remigration.
Remigration, what does that mean?
It's a series of political policies aimed at helping immigrants return back to their homelands.
Okay, so this is the thrust of the Dominion Society. They want to make political change that will result in remigration. It's far gentler than some of the things I've suggested. The one-way trebuchet comes to mind.
Sorry, what's your background?
Notice the flag that they're waving. You're welcome. It says Didger.
What's your background? Are you?
Hey, that's quite the flag you got there, sir. Ma'am. You.
all white?
What do you
You're
mean
right.
by
Okay,
white?
so
No. See, the boys respond that they're Canadian, which she automatically equates to white. Why would she have that association in her head if this is a land of immigrants?
you know, like you guys are visitors here.
Visitors. Born in the country. Raised in the country. Most likely. From their accents. And their ages.
On this land. Y'all are visitors here.
No, that's not how visiting works. When you visit somewhere, the host can tell you to leave. Ain't nobody telling us to leave.
Because this is indigenous land.
Lady, that's somewhere in Ontario. The entirety of Ontario wasn't indigenous land. The Indigenes, and I'm going to call them that, the Indigenes moved from place to place to place. They weren't farming. They were hunter-gatherers. They moved from place to place to place, so they had no land to call their own. Nor did they actually claim title to most places.
You're a guest. You're
Guest. Visitor, then it was now it's guest.
a guest, and you're a guest, and I'm a guest.
If you're a guest, can you be told to get the fuck out?
Right?
I don't think a lot of people like that message. That none of us.
They don't like the truth.
I
Right?
don't think a lot of people like that message.
I don't think a lot of people like that message, the idea that we're somehow, as Canadians, visitors or guests. And of course her response
They
is,
don't like the truth.
you don't like the truth. It's not the truth. That's your interpretation. And of course, because it's your interpretation, it's how you feel. That's all that matters, right, bitch?
That none of us belong here.
Did I say that you didn't belong here?
Yes, you called them guests and visitors. That implies that you don't belong to a place. Listen to your own words, you psychopath. You cognitive dissonance sufferer. You wanderer within ideological limbo. It's ceded land your ancestors signed it away. Doesn't matter if it was ceded or not. It's ours now. Come and fucking take it. And that's to the Indians, of course, not to the Chinese. And not those Indians. Not the push start ones, not the kickstart ones.
I said that you're a guest. You're a guest
For the record, it was actually an Indian who told me that joke.
in these streets. Look at your three
You're a guest in these streets. Bitch, who built the fucking streets? Who put the streets there?
Canadian nationalists walking along trying
Canadian nationalists. Oh no, not Canadian nationalists. What's this white here?
to
Anyway,
get content for your shit.
that is a badass hoodie. I do like that. I may have to order one.
Remigration.
Remigration, what is
So, the moment they bring up that indigenous land visitor argument, ask them two questions. How did the tribe that was here before we took the land gain and hold the land? How long does it take for someone to become indigenous? Or option B, simply say, silence you bundle of sticks, go wave your rainbow flag somewhere else. I'm always more partial to the go fuck yourself response. From Bruce, those hoodies are very high quality. I have to get another one now because his wife claimed ownership of the one he had. That, I'm guessing, fat chick is going to have an aneurysm with that amount of insanity. You can tell her boosters... Yeah, she does, in fact, sound vaccinated. Yeah. Let's see if we can find one more good meme. What do we got here? Go back to where you came from. Cool, when are you leaving? Cool, when are you leaving? Cool, when are... Yeah. It's kind of like that, isn't it? Yeah. Also, credit 40 sacks on X. Canadian nationalist, Anglo-Quebecois, Red Tory futurist. It's one of the places where we part ways. Or have a difference of opinion. We're back to Trump real quick for this one. And believe me, it's worth it. Just in, President Trump says any credit card company charging over a 10% interest rate will be, quote, in violation of the law. And that's from remarks on X. Yeah. 10% seems a fair compromise between, nothing and 30%. I've looked at applying for credit cards myself, and I have a fairly good credit rating. I'm not being offered anything less than a 29% rate on most cards that are worth looking at. It's insane. Now, to be fair, I have a terrible credit history, and I don't generally use credit a lot, which is part of why it's terrible. Let's see. For my next trick, Elizabeth Warren and the Democrats will come out and support credit card companies. The most useless things ever. Ursula von der Leyen, Keir Starmer, offense where it doesn't need to be, and the United Nations. Yeah. That was anti-Semitic. I need my safe space. Yeah, that is the expected response. Well, it's anti-Semitic to create anti-usury laws. Sure it is. Okay. And this is actually the last response. We're just over time. So I may get to... Actually, sorry, let me rephrase. I think that was the last response. No, I have one more after this. Okay, at least one more. Sorry. The Globe and Mail will publish anything, no matter how absurd, as long as it pushes anti-Trump, anti-U.S. propaganda. This is nuts. And I did mean to hunt down the link for this, but I'm not going to bother. Letters to the editor from yesterday. I am almost 70, but give me the means to get to Greenland and I'll be more than happy to defend it. If you're 70 years old and you don't have the money put away to fucking fly to your ass to Greenland and buy a rifle, yeah. Maybe you should consider that the government is not doing you any favors. Went through that one. Okay, let me just clear out some of this bookmarking here. Okay, I see. No, it's not that one. Maybe that is the last of them for today. I think it might be. Give me a moment here while I clear some things. Oh. The hell? Oh, I see. I had to refresh my tab there. Yeah, that's insanity. Oh, yeah, okay. We'll run this one. This is a little bit strange, but bear with me. It's kind of worth it. Pause this here and blow it up. And it is a 48-second clip, so I won't have to talk too much to maintain fair use. So I'll let this play a little bit, and then I'll make some comments. Okay, we'll respond to this one. This is from Noel Ignatieff. The goal of abolishing the white race is, on its face, so desirable that some may find it hard to believe that it could incur any opposition other than from committed white supremacists. When you make everyone who says standing up for white rights is okay into a white supremacist, that's what you get. Make no mistake about it, we intend to keep bashing the dead white males and the live ones, and the females too, until the social construct known as the white race is destroyed. So, being white is being part of a social construct, but being Jewish isn't. Good to know. Thanks, Noel. The Jewish theme song. Yes, it is Hava Nagila. Which, ironically, is a song I don't mind. I actually like the music. What wine pairs best with white genocide? How about a nice big bottle of Shut the Fuck Up? Mr. Poplak. He's Jewish in South Africa. Willing to bet he's really happy about the anti-white laws they're bringing in that will target him too. Gee, where have I heard this before? Forbid the whites to mate with whites. The white women must cohabit with members of the dark races. Not marry, cohabit. The white men with black women. Thus the white race will disappear. Means the end of the white man and our most dangerous enemy will become only a memory. And our race will rule undisputed over the world. Our superior intelligence will easily enable us to retain mastery over a world of dark peoples. It's Nahum Rabinovich, Canadian rabbi. Yeah. That's quite enough of that garbage for the day. Okay, I'm going to play about 25 minutes of Skyrim and then get this video uploaded. So, if you would like to support me and what I do, as you can see from... hang on. There. You can support me in many ways that are cost-free. Like, share, follow. But you can also go to the Ko-Fi and send me a little bit of dosh, which I wouldn't mind. In fact, I would deeply appreciate. Other than that, and for the folks watching the recording, I hope you're doing well. Hope you continue to do well. And as always, rise and rise again until lambs become lions. Bye-bye.